Oh, I'm sore, dude. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Happy Monday. It's not rush hour. It almost is, though. We got a kind of boring day. It's really nasty. We were gonna do a photo shoot, but then the weather is nasty and people don't feel like it, so we're gonna postpone that. And instead today, I figure we'll do something else, and I'll explain that as we hit the road. Let's go. You know, the best part of this rainy weather is it's finally cooled down. It's not like 90 degrees today. It's actually like reasonable. I'm just hoping it doesn't rain again. Oh, and by the way, did I tell you this helmet isn't designed for riding a motorbike or a bicycle? It's apparently like a horse riding helmet. It actually is like exactly the shape for like riding horses. Anyways, adventure time. First stop. The company said they sent me a contract to my center. They haven't. So I went to HQ, they said they have. I went back to my center, they said they never received it. So now I'm going back to HQ to basically demand it because I need to do my taxes. Just like America, you gotta do your taxes, right? Let's go. Yo, we got the contract, that's all sorted. Now we're getting towards, you can see it's rush hour traffic finally. You excited to drive in this?
No.
I got business cards made for 300K, which is awesome. So we'll see how they turn out in a few days. I figure it would be good to, if I'm gonna do photography and try to make money, I should have a card to give to people. So yeah. So next stop, we're gonna go to the shop where they don't let us video. So I guess we'll see you back at home. She's gonna cook dinner tonight. Yeah. By the way, look at the doggy. She's preparing dinner.
No.
So she's busy, but I'm gonna help, don't worry. We're finally back home. Today was kind of pointless. It was a really drab day, but I'm trying to keep up that upload limit to have 2 videos a week. And I wasn't sure until, because it'll be a few more days before I make my next video that I actually have an idea for, and I have another idea in the future. So there's gonna be stuff, but I was like, oh, what to do today? So anyways, I have a great idea and you can tell me what you think. All right, are you getting tired of those transitions? I don't know, they're pretty cool though, I still like them. Okay, so the idea, I wasn't sure, I was like, today's so boring, you know, but I was like, we gotta make it fun somehow, right? That's the creative challenge. So I decided what we're gonna do is we're gonna practice
Vietnamese.
Yeah.
His Vietnamese is amazing, I think.
Yeah, my Vietnamese is terrible, and I figure we'll do an intro lesson, so it should be pretty fun. Yeah, so we'll just kind of go over very basic things and just give you like a 5-minute rundown of like crash course of what do you need to know if you go to Vietnam, okay? So we haven't planned this out, we're just kind of winging it. One important thing for you guys is like they have a really funky alphabet. Let me see, can you see that? I don't know if you can read through all of that, but you can kind of see like they have like 3 different A's, you know, they have 2 different D's, 2 different E's. What else is there? There's 3 O's, 2 U's, and it all depends on like the squiggly line you'll see above it, which they probably have a name for those squiggles, but you know, you have a, you know, whether it's a flat tone, whether the tone is rising, going down, or going up and down. Basically, like the easiest way to remember it that she's taught me is if you see like, for example, like where they say Viet, you can see the E, how it's like going up and then down. So that E,
follow that.
That's the tones you make. So like your E will go up and then down, and that sound is what? That without the dot, of course. Like how is that E sound?
A.
See, and like if you listen carefully, you'll hear she's going up and down.
A.
Whereas like if you have the slash going down, then it's you start high and go low, or vice versa. If it's going up, you'll start low and go high. If you see a dot underneath, so vowels can have a dot underneath them, and basically like the way I interpreted the the dot is like, it's like a stop. Like you basically stop the word at that sound, at that dot. So like there's like a popular name that we had a coworker, it was NGOC, right?
Yeah.
And like if you read it, you would say naga. But they have an NG sound, which is ng, and then the O, but she had a dot under it. So basically like you would just stop it there and it'd be like nga.
No.
And like you literally like swallow. That's what somebody said, you swallow the letter.
Trick.
So that's kind of like how you, but you'll always be terrible. People will never understand you. I've been trying for over a year and she can understand me, coworkers can understand me, but the Vietnamese people look at me like, what? Because they're not used to hearing from a non-fluent point of view. You know, like in America and all over the world, you're used to English speakers who have an Asian accent or a Russian accent or a German, and you can understand everything. Whereas here, like if you're off, a lot of people like they kind of start shutting down and they're like, I don't know what you're saying. Let's go into like actual words though. So yeah, buy yourself a book when you come here and you can try to practice. What's the most important thing they should learn?
With all the languages, always like meeting and greeting. The most important thing, I think. Let's say start with hello or hi first.
So we have a very like, here's the very basic. So like I say hello.
Xin chào.
What else should people know?
Excuse me. So like the foreigners always say that when you want to ask the question.
Yeah, you know when we say excuse me, can you help? Which is also the same word here they said is sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So you'd say like excuse me and they would say
Xin lỗi.
Yeah.
But actually you don't hear that often.
Going off of sorry, the opposite you would have is thank you.
Thank you.
Which is...
So he wouldn't say thank you and I wouldn't say it cảm ơn.
Yeah. What else would we need to know? I am is like important. Like I am Marko. Like that's my name.
Tôi là Huong. Or tên tôi là Huong.
That's why I say tôi là Marko. So like, oh, okay, he's Marko. And then I would tell them tôi là Mỹ, which means I'm an American.
No, honey, you need to put the another word. Người Mỹ.
Oh, you need to add the word of people, ngồi. So I'm an American person. For us, we don't say it in English because that's obvious, like I'm a person. But in Vietnamese, you need to specify for some reason, like I'm a human,
yeah,
not
the
a
same
dog.
thing like America and American. So if only say the word Mỹ, or that mean the country. But if you put like another word like người mean human, like American.
Oh.
Be ready because like I think the three most like popular question Vietnamese will ask you is what's your name, how old are you,
Yeah.
and where you come from.
Yeah. So the basic ones you need to know, and I think most of the viewers are American, so that's Mỹ, which is just MY.
MY
Me.
and with
So yeah, you'll be writing all those as I edit, don't worry. You have English, like from the UK, which is
Anh.
Yeah, that's English. And then I think that's all the viewers. And then of course you have the Vietnamese. If you need to know something else, Russian is
Nga.
and French
Pháp.
and German
Đức.
and Spanish.
Tây Ban Nha.
See, so easy. Yeah. And then Bosnia.
Bosnia.
Sweet. See, even they haven't figured out a fancy way to say my country. Counting is very confusing. I just use my fingers. People seem to understand that. So let's count. 1,
1,
2,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, that's up to 10. But most of you are probably in your 20s or 30s, so just say a number, hi, and they'll be like, okay, 22. Like when people here though, don't ask your age, they ask what year you were born. Like oftentimes like they walk around and they'll ask me and then I say and they're like, oh, I don't get it. And then like I'll say, Chinmo, 91.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay, he was born in 91. And then they'll do the math, reverse to find your age. I know that's something, yeah, you'll hear them say a lot.
Because here,
like I've had students ask, like I asked students like, when were you born? And they're like 08. I was like, I don't understand, you're 8 years old? And then I was like, oh, 2008. Okay, so you're 11. Got it.
But here is important to like know your the year you was born, because according to like the custom, it's very important. Like if you was born that year, so people wouldn't think like are you like suitable like to be friend with them or not. And also like here like you always like 1 year or 2 years older than the actual age, right? That
Yeah,
we also like count at the time you seen in your mom belly.
So add 9 months to your age. It's a bit different. The language says for me a lot about how Vietnam's super modern in many aspects, but then in other aspects it's super traditional. Like here, like she spends almost every evening watching people live stream like fashion stuff, like shops will be selling stuff, and I was like, well, we don't even do that in America. Like we'll live stream a protest or something, but like I noticed it's not as popular. But here, like everything's online and digital. And then like the day after, people go and pray to some 2,000-year-old God for like better finances this month. So like it's completely like both extremes they have here. And you can see a lot of that in the language and the way they talk and also the way they think, which is true. I mean, isn't that what language is? Like language is who we are, right? I've actually heard like just kind of offshoot a bit, but I've heard a lot of people say like that's the one thing people hate about English is everybody speaks English and it's like eating up cultures and you know, mindsets of all these different generations all over the planet, because all of a sudden everybody's English, you know, everybody's speaking English, learning English, thinking in English. So we're losing that individuality, which I tend to disagree with. I think you got to keep your language and remember it, but you can also kind of move and learn new things. But anyways, back to Vietnamese. Fun language. It'll
let's practice again. Okay.
It'll kill you.
Can you introduce yourself?
Tôi là Marko, tôi là người Mỹ.
Yeah.
Tôi là 27.
No, tôi 27.
Tôi 27.
Tuổi.
27.
Tôi 27 tuổi.
There you go. I can't do the tones. I've never been good at that. I've tried, but they're always impressed if you can say anything in their language. So
yeah. They're surprised and like impressed.
Yeah.
So.
What else should people know that's important? Yeah, you have the family members. Bo, meh. That's the only ones I know.
No, but don't try to remember all like the family members' name. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that's it's also difficult when you talk to people because you need to have everybody has a proper title. So, you know, if they're older than you, you say X. If they're older than you and a girl, you say this. Older than you and a boy, you say this. Younger than you, and so on and so forth. Is it formal or informal? Are they your parents' age? Are they an uncle's age? Are they a grandparent's age? Are they older than a grandparent?
So many ways.
So, like, you know, and like I've really screwed up and like offended some women by making a mistake where like I would say something for like an aunt, and they're like, no, it's more like mother. And the woman would be like, I'm not that old. And I was like, okay, sorry. Whereas like in America, everybody's you, or sir, ma'am, miss.
Yeah, sometimes Vietnamese wish like our language can be that easy, only like I and you, so easy. Even like, cause here you need to know, maybe like the first thing you need to ask like, how old are you?
Yeah.
And that like unacceptable in foreign country.
Yeah, like people were shocked, like, cause like I said to my boss, I called her M. Like, ciao, M, and everybody was like, no, you don't do that, because M is for somebody younger than you, you know. And I mean, my boss is cool, so she totally understood, but like, you know, the other people are like, whoa, you can't say that. So like I said, gotta be careful. Yeah, so I don't know, like learning that is not really necessary anyways for a short trip, but just do be prepared to hear a bunch of different, And that's why it's very common here that people ask you your age, which is not common in the West, right? You don't ask people's age, especially for women. But here, like, people always need to know they almost need to know because that way they'll know how to address you properly. I've noticed, like, Vietnam is pretty English friendly. You don't really need much more. Just be very active in your body language. That helps the most with getting by.
Body language.
Yeah. And if you are interested in more videos, like, you can definitely, like, ask, and, like, she would be more than happy to, like, construct like basic lessons. She works in an English center, so she can just backtrack it and switch it to Vietnamese. The first thing I would do is kind of try to get a grasp of the letters and the sounds and the tones. I think that helps for me. And then once you can start to learn to like read and make the sounds, you can blend them into words, and then from there you can just kind of increase your vocabulary.
The same thing, the same way you learn English.
You know, it's the same way, like it's the same way like the little kids can learn A, B, B, and so on. Like you got to learn your basics again, and then go from there.
Them together, build up like different words.
Yeah, and then just a matter of vocabulary, isn't it? I definitely if you want a challenge, if you're like I said to myself, I was like, oh, I'm so good at learning languages, and then I came here and I was like, no, I changed my mind, I'm not that good. Because like I grew up speaking like Serbo-Croatian at home, then we lived in Germany, so I spoke German, then I moved to America, I spoke English, then I studied German again because I forgot it, so I became pretty good at German, and then I studied Russian in college, you know, and I was able to pick it up pretty well. Oh, when I studied in Italy, I learned a bit of Italian, you know, but then I came here and I was like, nope, I can't do this. Like Chinese, they're all so difficult because they're not based in what I'm used to, like the European languages. Apparently, though, they said Vietnamese is based in Latin. Did you know that? It's a Latin-based language. So apparently, if you go all the way back, yeah. It's actually interesting. I could do a whole video for you guys about like the history of the Vietnamese language, because you'll notice on the temples around Hanoi and Vietnam, they're all written what looks like Chinese. But it depends on how old it is. The Vietnamese used to write in classical Chinese.
Yeah.
And then they modified it to like a modified like Vietnamese, what the Vietnamese actually call Old Vietnamese, which looks like Chinese but it's different.
Yep, it's just different.
Yeah.
And more simple than like the old Chinese. And we call it chữ nôm.
And then they switched when the French occupied Vietnam. They switched to a Latin-based alphabet. And basically, it's interesting because I thought the French forced the Vietnamese. But in the research I've done, it seems that it was kind of a natural transition and the Vietnamese really preferred to write like that instead of writing in the, you know, which makes sense, you know, even for the students, it's a lot easier for them to learn English now because they already have the basics. Just they mix up some letters. Like in Vietnamese, the D is not a D, it's a Z. And they don't have the letter Z as a result. So if you see like D-U-N-G, it's not dung, it's zung. Unless it's the D with a line going through it, which looks a bit different. That's a D.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a few differences, but overall, like it's basically the Latin alphabet. If you're curious, go on Google and like do your own research. But like Vietnamese language history is just crazy interesting, because it just transformed so much, and Vietnam's like this cool mix of like the East and West. I think I watch a lot of like YouTubers who are like in China. And like China's very like much reverting back to like a closed off society of like Chinese only, whereas Vietnam's the opposite, and it's been expanding, and it's been doing that for like hundreds of years to be very mixed between the West and East. I'm working on an essay about that, so hopefully you'll hear that soon, and then you can tell me what you think about that. Anything else you want to say?
I think it's enough.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of talking head. Try to change it up and. You know, just, you know, gotta do something on a boring day, don't you? You gotta make it exciting somehow.
Yeah.
You know, so.
That's boring because the weather and also the day off, so kind of lazy.
Yeah, it's really lazy, so we're just kind of, hanging out. And
Don't worry, I make you food today.
Yeah, she's cooking, so see how that goes. And also, do let me know if you guys are interested in any more gaming videos, because I know there's DLC that dropped for Assassin's Creed that I was thinking about doing, and then maybe playing some other games sporadically. I don't know. Just not sure if it's gonna mix well with the channel. Well, anyways.
See you later.
Yeah. Later, guys.